Thank you, Paul. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm going to call the Parks and City Light Committee to order. Today is July 15th, and the time is 2:08. I'm Deborah Juarez. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Strauss.
Here.
Councilmember Saka.
Here.
Councilmember Rivera.
Present.
Vice Chair Kettle.
Here.
Chair Juarez.
Here.
Chair, there are 5 members present.
Great, we have a quorum. We'll move forward. Go through approval of the agenda. If there's no objection, the agenda will be adopted. Not hearing or seeing an objection, the agenda is adopted. Before I begin, I want to thank Councilmember Lynn for being here. Thank you, Councilmember Lynn. I'm glad you're here to hear about Lake City. I know you worked on this in your prior life, so this is great. All right, so let's, before we begin, I have the chair's report that I want to share with you folks, and then we'll launch right into our agenda, or we'll go into public comment. All right, there will be a regular public comment period before items on the agenda. Comments should be related to the items on today's agenda and within the purview of this committee during public comment. There are 3 ordinances and 1 information item on the agenda today. The first item on the agenda is Council Bill 121250, is an ordinance that transfers property and management of the Lake City Garage and Plaza from the Department of Finance and Administrative Services to Seattle Parks and Recreation. This legislation is part of the Lake City Community Center redevelopment. The presentation, I understand, is 12 slides and will be presented by Michelle Finnegan, Interim Superintendent Parks and Recreation, Lise Ward, Parks and Recreation, Maria Deweese, Seattle Office of Housing, Karen Gruen, Department of Finance and Administrative Services, and our own Tracy Ratzel from Seattle. I don't see our central staff. Is Tracy here? Oh, there she is. She's tied. Okay. The second item on the agenda is City Light's new retail rates ordinance, Council Bill 121231. This is the 3rd time we've heard this item, so we'll be voting on that today. Today we will discuss an amendment that will amend the Utility Discount Program, UDP, that is part of this ordinance. This amendment is based on the UDP legislation that passed out of the Governance and Utility Committee and was passed by full council yesterday. The presentation is 4 slides and will be presented by Eric McConaughey from Central Staff. Joining Eric at the table to answer questions from the legislative staff or on the legislation are Interim Director Rob Zenoff, and Angela Bertrand and Christy Gringer. I'm sorry. Well, I'll let you introduce yourselves when you get up here. I'm just going from what we got on the agenda items. And that amendment will be presented and discussed by Councilmember Strauss. The 3rd item on the agenda is an information item. This item is a presentation about the 2025 audit of City Light. This is an annual independent audit which is done by Baker Tilly. The presentation is 16 slides and presented by Natalie Hayashi, City Light, and Aram Wortham, CPA, Baker Tilly representative. The 4th item on the agenda is Council Bill 121249, is an ordinance that gives City Light the authority to enter into 10-year agreements with customers eligible for transportation electrification programs. And I understand, again, that we will have Interim Director Sanoff, David Logston, and Angela Song from City Light, and Eric McConaughey, of course, from Central Staff. I expect a vote on agenda items 1, 2, and 4. That being said, with the director's overview of today's agenda, we will now open the hybrid public comment period. And Mr. Clerk, can you please go ahead and let us know how many people are signed up today and how many people are in chambers and how many people are online?
We have 4 people signed up for public comment in person and 4 remote.
Okay. Each person will have 2 minutes. Do you want to go ahead and read the instructions, and then we'll go to the 4 people that are in chambers, and then we'll go to remote.
The public comment period will be moderated in the following manner. The public comment period is up to 60 minutes. Speakers will be called in the order in which they registered. We will begin with in-person speakers, then move on to remote speakers until the public comment period is ended. Speakers will hear a chime when 10 seconds are left in their time. Speakers' mics will be muted if they do not end their comments within the allotted time allowed. The first public speaker in person is Sadiq, followed by Colin and Spencer.
Come on up.
Good afternoon, everyone and council members. My name is Sadiq Kakar, and I lead the Lake City Senior Center. Before I start with my commentary on the project, I wanted to take a moment to acknowledge the efforts of the council members, especially our chair, Deborah. I haven't met you in person yet, but I know all the efforts that you have put in supporting the Lake City Senior Center and making this project a reality. So thank you so much on behalf of the seniors. My journey with the Lake City Senior Center is not that old. It's 8 months that I'm leading the center. A lot of work has been done, but in my short experience in leading the Lake City Senior Center, I've observed a lot of necessities that are required for a senior center to function, one of which is the facility, one of which is the location. And this project, the Lake City Community Center, is an essential part for the senior centers to function. We're currently operating out of Lamb of God Lutheran Church, which is just a block behind the Seattle Public Library. It has its own challenges and issues. One of the challenges that we have is accessibility for people with disability to that building with seniors. And it also represents risks. And if we have any fire or any other emergency type of a situation, evacuating that building would be very challenging for the seniors.
Go ahead. Keep going.
Okay. So with the new project, I would want us emphasized so that we don't have the same issues there for accessibility with wheelchair, walkers, and all of that. The second issue is the capacity currently at the Lamb of God facility that we use. It was envisioned that we would be able, the facility is a 3-story building. It has a capacity for 80 seniors. But with recent changes in government assistance, Medicaid and all, I'm seeing an increase from newcomers, new members coming to seek services at our center. That number is increasing. On average, when the senior center is open, we're seeing 80 to 90 people. On a busy day, when we have more partners coming and giving their services, 100 to 110 people. So it's resulting in a lot of wear and tear off the facility, and I have received complaints. The kitchen is being overused because it's not meant to hold those many seniors.
Okay.
So that's another thing, the capacity in the new building when it's being designed. What is the capacity going to be? At least given the circumstances, it should be able to support and host 150 to 200 easily on an average day. The third thing is the kitchen. The kitchen is really important for the senior center to function for meals because we provide community dining. One of the main programs that through Sound Generations is the community dining aspect that a lot of seniors helps them to get out of isolation, to socialize, and to have a moment.
So I need you to wrap it up real quick.
I will try to.
Yeah, you had 2 minutes, but go ahead.
So the dining area and the kitchen to have all of those facilities that can support preparing the meals. The rest, I think, the soonest we can have the building would be great because a lot of the community members and the seniors, they're really looking forward to it, and it will eliminate a lot of these issues that we are facing in the current facility. So we really, really do hope that this is done and achieved as soon as we can.
We've been working on it for 10 years. We got you. Get it. Thank you. You should look at the PowerPoint because the PowerPoint does address ADA.
Okay, I will do that.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you
online.
so much.
Thank you. Not everyone goes that long, okay, you guys? Go ahead.
The next public speaker is Colin, followed by Spencer, and then Lauren.
Hey, Colin.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and members of the committee. My name is Colin Morgan Cross. I lead real estate development for Mercy Housing Northwest, and I'm here to speak in support of Item 1, Council Bill 121250 regarding the transfer of the Lake City Community Center. This bill is an important step to advancing the Lake City Community Center and affordable housing project. Mercy Housing Northwest is partnering with the City of Seattle on this important project, which is an innovative approach to co-locating a new community center with affordable housing for families. We are proud of our track record and commitment to serving families in Seattle over the last decades, and we're excited to expand this commitment to Lake City. We also applaud the vision of the City of Seattle to leverage the community center project to make our city more affordable for families. It's a concrete way that the city is stepping up to help address the affordability challenge while also creating a new community resource for families. Chair, I know that you have been a champion of this project for many, many years, and so appreciate that support and your vision.
I recognize you from before.
Yeah, the key elements of our new community will include 112 units of affordable housing, again, primarily for families. It will include the new community center to serve the wider community, replacing the previous community center. A partnership with Family Works will ensure that robust on-site services for families are provided both for residents in the building and also the larger community. And at the heart, we're creating a new civic plaza that will be available to residents and the wider community for outdoor activities and gatherings. Mercy Housing Northwest has partnered collaboratively with the City of Seattle partners, Office of Housing, Seattle Parks and Recreation, other city departments, as well as with members of the community to re-envision the project. And we've made it a priority to start construction this year so that we can open the new community as quickly as possible. This legislation is an important step to allow us to do that and to reimagine an unused piece of infrastructure to make the community center project more cost-effective and better serve its user. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for your partnership.
Our next public speaker will be Spencer, followed by Lauren, and then we'll move on to remote speakers.
Hello, Spencer.
Hello, my name is Spencer Rawls. I'm a renter in Capitol Hill. I'm here to speak about the large load policy for data centers. I'm supportive of the current moratorium while we get this figured out, and I'm overall supportive of this policy. But there are a few ways I think it could be improved. The big one is that the current wave of AI data center development is a bubble, and I want to make sure Seattle residents aren't left with the bill when that bubble bursts. So I think we need to require some form of guarantee, some money set aside or something to pay for infrastructure that's built to support data centers that end up getting canceled or closed down early, or things like that. So I'm supportive of an amendment that requires that. It would also be great to require some time flexibility so that they can play nicer with the grid. Those are my two big suggestions. Just protect ratepayers so we don't get stuck with the bill for things that get shut down early. Thank you.
Our next in-person public speaker will be Lauren, and then moving on to remote speakers, we'll have Rebecca and Kristen.
Welcome, Lauren.
Hi.
Hi.
Good afternoon, council members. I'm Lauren from District 6 and one of the lead organizers of Washington's AI Resistance. I support Seattle City Light's proposed large load tariff. It's an important first step to ensure that new large electricity users, including data centers, pay the cost they impose on our electric system instead of shifting those onto households and small businesses. New large load customers should pay the true cost of serving their energy demand rather than relying on decades of public investment. I appreciate that the proposal requires infrastructure and power resources to be secured before service begins, helping prevent speculative development, and that it protects Seattle's legacy public hydropower, which belongs to the people of Seattle. As you continue strengthening Seattle's approach, I encourage you to require grid flexibility as a condition of service, not merely incentivized as it currently is. Please also require strong financial insurances, such as letters of credit or parent company guarantees, so that if speculative AI projects are canceled or abandoned, the financial risk falls on the developers and not on Seattle residents. The city's work plan should also coordinate large load growth with long-term clean energy planning. More fundamentally, we should be asking how much of this industry Seattle actually wants or needs. While Seattle City Light may view data centers as a way to finance new transmission and renewable energy investments, which are important, we should not evaluate these projects solely through an energy lens. Even if sufficient clean energy were available, we must also consider impacts on water, land use, climate, and communities. For example, rising water temperatures is a leading pollutant affecting our waterways, threatening our salmon. Large data centers could worsen these thermal impacts while our ecosystems are already under immense stress from climate change. Finally, before approving additional data center development, I encourage the City Council to hold a public hearing on Seattle's use of AI or convene a citizens' assembly similar to the one that Snohomish County recently completed. Residents deserve a meaningful voice in deciding what AI infrastructure is actually needed and how much data center capacity should be built. Our limited energy, water, and land use, or land should be allocated according to public priorities and not speculative demand driven by a handful of the world's wealthiest companies.
Thank you. And that's why Councilmember Lynn is here. He's writing all this down. Thank you.
The first remote speaker is Rebecca, followed by Kristen and Brian. Rebecca, please press *6 when you hear the prompt that you've been unmuted.
I do not. Rebecca, I'm looking for her tile. Oh, there we are. Rebecca?
Oh,
Hi.
hello and thank you. My name is My name is Rebecca Young. I'm a resident in District 3 and here regarding Agenda Item 2. Seattle City Light's proposed new large data center load ordinance is a strong first step toward protecting ratepayers and ensuring that data centers pay the full cost that they impose on our system. However, it does not go far enough and could be strengthened. First, I'd like to see this ordinance strengthened to protect existing clean energy for community needs and to require that all new energy resources that these large load facilities acquire be clean energy from the start. Seattle has a limited supply of existing clean energy, and we should prioritize electrifying homes, commercial buildings, and transportation to meet our urgent, legally mandated climate goals. These AI tech companies behind these large data centers have more than enough money to build out all of the clean energy needed to power the data centers that they want to build. We should ensure that any and all new power built or purchased to support large load facilities be clean energy, including any backup energy sources. For example, large data centers should not be allowed to use diesel backup generators and instead must guarantee clean sources of backup power. Second, I would encourage Council to strengthen this ordinance by making grid flexibility and optimization a condition of service for these large customers. Data centers should be required to reduce electricity use during peak demand or grid emergencies and avoid expensive new infrastructure whenever possible through optimizing the grid we currently have to keep costs down. And finally, I encourage you to view this new policy as a minimum baseline for protecting ratepayers and use the city's ongoing moratorium and work plan to continue strengthening this large load data policy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rebecca.
Our next remote speaker is Kristen. Please press *6 when you hear the prompt that you've been unmuted.
Kristen, *6. There you go.
Hi, good afternoon, council members. My name is Kristen Grandstrand, and I'm the Director of Programs at Family Works. I'm here to express my strong support of the Lake City Community Center and Affordable Housing Redevelopment Project and encourage this committee to transfer the jurisdiction of the Lake City Parking Garage and Plaza to Seattle Parks and Recreation so this redevelopment can move forward. This project represents the very best of what community-centered development can look like. By co-locating affordable housing, a community center, and supportive family programs in one place, the city is creating a hub where people and families can easily access the resources they need to thrive. Family Works is excited to be a part of this vision. In partnership with Mercy Housing and Seattle Parks and Rec, Family Works will provide free on-site family support programs, including resource connection and referral, play and learn groups, parenting workshops, peer support groups, a diaper bank, and other services that the community tells us they want and need. Family Works programs will be available not only for residents of the Affordable Housing Tower, but for the community center, people using the community center, as well as the general public. This integrated approach reduces barriers to access and helps ensure that people can find support, connection, and opportunity in their neighborhood in a space they already know and trust. The redevelopment will create lasting benefits for the Lake City community by strengthening community connections, supporting housing stability, and making essential services more accessible. It recognizes that thriving communities need more than housing alone. They need places to gather, build relationships, access resources, and support one another. We appreciate the city's investment in this innovative partnership and encourage you to continue moving this project forward. We are proud to partner with Mercy Housing and the City of Seattle in creating a more connected, equitable, and resilient Lake City for current and future generations. Thank you so much for your time and support.
Thank you. Thank you, Kirsten.
Our next remote speaker is Brian. Please press *6 when you hear you've been unmuted.
Brian Dang. Brian?
Hi.
Hi.
Did that work? Okay, yeah. Good afternoon, Chair Juarez and members of the committee. My name is Brian Dang. I'm a displaced tech worker, a lifelong artist, and a customer of Seattle City Lights. I'm here today to comment on CB 121231. First, I support the large load tariff, making data centers pay their electricity costs instead of the rest of us and small businesses. But I would like Seattle to go further. Chair Juarez and Councilmember Strauss, you might remember me as the mega regulation guy. But let me tell you more about what I mean by that. There may be times during grid emergencies and peak events that a utility may need to reduce load. We need legislation that would treat hyperscale AI data centers as flexible loads so that they would incorporate mechanisms that allow the utility to reduce loads during those times that I mentioned. 2, they would participate in demand response programs. And 3, establish interruptible service options. In general, we need stronger demand flexibility and curtailment requirements. Finally, I'll repeat this every time. AI doesn't need more megawatts, it needs more mega regulation. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Brian.
Our next remote speaker is Darcy. Darcy, please press *6.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Go ahead, Darcy.
Perfect. Thank you. My name is Darcy Buendia, and I'm from the organization formerly known as Hunger Intervention Program and currently and newly known as North Seattle Food Connection. And we are the folks who run the senior community meal that is a part of Lake City Senior Days, a senior serving multifaceted program that you heard Sadiq speaking about earlier. So my thanks to Sadiq from Sound Generations for covering some of the ground that enables me to speak with more brevity today. Our senior meal program, before it was a holistic, movable senior center without walls model, began in the old Lake City Community Center. And even in that era, before it was taken on by Seattle Parks and Rec officially, that was such an important addition to the community, having access to the space to have programming like that. Lake City obviously currently doesn't have a community center, and Lake City has never had a senior center. And I think it's a very smart use of space, the way our program transforms the space for a population that's generally underserved in the area. Our community meal is designed to support access to nutrition and create socialization opportunities. I know that we're currently just talking about a parking garage, but we're obviously talking about so much more. And so I just wanted to take time out of my day to come and rep the Lake City Community Center and really just reiterate how important it is to us and how important it is to Lake City, an underserved urban hub in the D5 area. So I appreciate all the council's work on the prioritization and the moving forward of this project. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Darcy.
Our final remote speaker is David Haynes.
Mr. Haynes. Mr. Haynes, *6. There you go.
Hi, hello, council. This is David Haynes. is there any way we can address the gravel dust at Olympic Sculpture Park that meets and greets you with dust in your face and your nostrils as soon as you get on their property coming off of, I think, Western Ave? It's not very friendly, but it distracts from the fact that you have to walk over this little pedestrian bridge that sometimes gets overwhelmed by the toxic industrial soot that comes out of the Burlington Northern Santa Fe trains and the CSX trains. And it's concerning because if you go through the park down to Myrtle Edwards, you're supposed to have a soft ground path to walk on without being forced onto the asphalt and the concrete. And when you get like over halfway through, all of a sudden the chain link fence that has some hedgerows blocking like the ugly view of the train yard, it goes empty and barren. And it's any way we can get some hedgerows to add to that and possibly a noise abated wall, because you know, the quality of living is being negatively impacted at the waterfront and all throughout the Pacific Northwest because of the toxic industrial trains that overwhelm Golden Gardens, Myrtle Edwards Park with their abusive horn honking, and all throughout South downtown Seattle. The other thing is like, is there any way that we can address the cruise boats that keep getting to plug into our electrical grid and basically consume a small city right at the waterfront in about 3 different locations, getting a discount on their port fees that cause us to raise the property taxes to cover the bond payments for all the infrastructure that we were forced to finance so that the cruise boats could launder billions of dollars out of our financial system's regulatory oversight and put it into Kuala Lumpur and Bermuda or Bahamas that winds up in Europe, that oppresses the lifeblood of the Pacific Northwest while they dump city amounts of sewage in the salmon runs, currents. Anyway, we need to raise the net port rates on the cruise boats.
Thank you, Mr. Haynes. All right.
There's no additional speakers signed up.
That was our last online speaker, and we don't have anyone else. No more on the sign-up sheet. Okay, great. All right. So that being the end, we are now closing the public comment period, and we'll move on to items of business. Will the clerk please read item 1 into the record?
Agenda item number 1, Council Bill 121250, an ordinance relating to city-owned Lake City Garage and Plaza, transferring jurisdiction and management authority from the Department of Finance and Administrative Services to Seattle Parks and Recreation. There will be a briefing, discussion, and vote.
Thank you. I see that we already have all of our folks up here. I'm guessing we have our representatives from Parks, Office of Housing, and FAS, and I'll let you all just introduce yourself for the record and for the viewing public. And then how do you guys want to do this? I was thinking what we would do is let them go through their PowerPoint and then ask questions at the end, because we've been through this a few times. Go ahead, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon. I'm Michelle Finnegan, Interim Superintendent of Seattle Parks and Recreation, and we have an interdepartmental team here today, so I'll let them all introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Lise Ward, Interagency Property Advisor, Seattle Parks Real Estate.
Hey there, Maria Deweese with the Office of Housing Policy and Planning Team.
Good afternoon, Karen Gruen with FAS, Department of Finance and Administrative Services.
And Tracy Ratzliff, Council Central Staff.
Hey, Tracy. All right. So we'll let you guys go ahead and walk us through this PowerPoint. We've been through it before, but I just want to, again, thank all the city departments working together. I'll let you go through your PowerPoint. I have a few comments to make, and then I'll open up the floor to my colleagues. So go ahead.
Great. So before we get started, I'd like to recognize the partners here at the table, as well as Mercy Housing and the community partners speaking today. I'd also like to recognize all of the council members who have supported this project along the way, especially Committee Chair Juarez, who's been a champion for years, and it's good to have Councilmember Lynn here too, as we've worked together on this project. We're very excited to update you all on this progress and the first of our 2 legislative packages we plan to bring before you. Next slide. The first part of our presentation is to update you on the innovative collaboration to continue affordable housing, to combine affordable housing with community center services adjacent to other essential services and community spaces to create a welcoming civic campus where Seattleites can live, gather, play, and thrive. We'll then walk through the first of the 2 legislative packages we plan to bring before you this year. This legislation, as you know, transfers jurisdiction of an existing garage beneath the Lake City Library with the adjacent stairs and elevators serving that garage and the plaza above from FAS to SPR. This is a necessary step to support the project. The legislation authorizes the superintendent to contract for parking management services as well. And then we'll bring you a second package later this summer to execute certain agreements and documents needed to build the facility. But first, we'd like to provide background on the evolution of this site and project. As you heard today, the Lake City Community Center has been an integral part of the Lake City neighborhood since the Lions Club built and began operating the community center in 1957. The Lions Club later deeded the property to the city and SPR in the 60s. While SPR didn't actually begin operating the facility until 2017, the idea of building a full-service community center at this location began years earlier. In fact, I remember a lot of community desire and demand being expressed during the initial park district creation process. Community was very articulate during that process and subsequently about the demand for services in the area and reflecting that the small existing building was not and would not meet community demand. While the big vision was not funded in that first cycle, funding was separately made available to support architectural studies, and in 2018, SPR completed a feasibility study for a new community center co-located with affordable housing in collaboration with the Office of Housing. Those studies informed the 2019 Capital Improvement Plan, which created a new Lake City Community Center project and identified seed funding for the project championed by Councilmember Juarez. As you may recall, that following year of 2020, we had intended to consider and pass the next Park District cycle financial plan. Unfortunately, COVID delayed that, but when cycle 2 was later passed in 2022, it included funding for the full-size community center envisioned years earlier by the community. While unfortunately in 2023, a fire destroyed a major portion of the existing building and the community center was demolished, the fully funded redevelopment project has offered something for the community and Seattle Parks and Recreation to look forward to. It has also provided an opportunity for SPR and OH to collaborate on the process to find a developer, ultimately Mercy Housing, selected in 2025, and since then this team and others have been working diligently with them and our other interagency partners. Next slide. So now a little bit more on the specifics of the actual project. The project will be developed on city-owned property. The city owns a parcel under the jurisdiction of SPR and another parcel under the jurisdiction of FAS. These two parcels are the subject of a lot boundary adjustment and will be reconfigured to accommodate the development of the project. The intent is to provide a 99-year ground lease for one of the reconfigured parcels, the one that will be in SPR ownership. And ultimately, the project will include 112 affordable rental housing units above a 27 or 28,000 square foot community center, featuring all of our full service amenities such as a gym, childcare spaces, recreation program spaces, a large kitchen, and there will also be one level of below grade parking with separate elevators supporting the separate uses. A project advisory group is engaged with and providing feedback to the design team. This community group was first convened in 2025 and serves as a sounding board for the design team and acts as an engagement bridge between the design team and the Lake City community. This group is comprised of community partners, local service providers, and Seattle Public Schools. The group has been a central connecting point, ensuring ample people were present at all the community meetings and participating in survey responses. DON community liaisons were also quite helpful in making sure that effort was amplified. I'd now like to hand over this presentation to Maria to provide some background on the housing redevelopment aspects. Thanks,
Michelle. This project involves several partners, as you've heard today, including Seattle Parks and Recreation and the Office of Housing, working together to redevelop city land. We've also had tremendous support from the City Attorney's Office, OPCD, FAS, and the Department of Neighborhoods as well in this joint effort. Mercy Housing Northwest is the lead developer, working with Spectrum Development. The general contractor is Walsh Construction, and the architect is Methune. Mercy Housing has partnered with Family Works to provide services to children and families who live at the new development and people who visit the community center. The project is currently in pre-development and progressing quickly. You can see from the schedule on this slide that many of the steps are in progress or complete. The design is substantially complete and the project is in permitting currently. Mercy Housing will secure all project financing by the end of the year for closing happening in December. City bonds will be secured and finalized in Q1 2027, and construction will begin shortly after financial closing. For a breakdown of the budget and funding sources, the community center is expected to cost approximately $38 million and will be funded by REIT and grants and bonds. The housing portion will cost approximately $86 million. Its funding is provided by the Office of Housing and other public and private funding sources. We expect the construction phase of the project to start in Q4 of 2026, and construction will complete in 2028 with a grand opening in 2029. And now I'll hand it back to Michelle.
Great. This next slide provides some visuals of the location of key aspects of the building and amenities included in the project plan. The graphic on the left outlines the entrances of the community center, housing units, and general building access. Please note the area identified as number 2 on the left image. That's integral to this legislation, as that ramp provides currently and will provide as a primary access point for parking. We will show more information about this area as we dive deeper. The graphic on the right shows the connection to Albert Davis Park, the new park playground, and the proximity to other city services. Sorry, that was on the left. The graphic on the right outlines the layout of the community center on 2 levels, with level 1 having the gymnasium, multi-purpose rooms, kitchen, and several other program spaces. The second level will have spaces for childcare and toddler programs. Now that we have provided an overview of the entire project, we will focus on the legislation in front of you. As I mentioned at the beginning, this is part 1 of 2 legislative packages necessary to make the project happen. We'll bring you more information on the second in a subsequent briefing, but we'll provide a quick preview at the beginning. So now I'll hand it over to Lise.
This slide provides background on the need for today's TOJ legislation. FAS has determined it has no future need for the property, and the property would best serve community needs through transfer of jurisdiction to SPR to support this project, which is what this legislation is doing. And we believe this property transfer will meet multiple needs, which we'll describe more in the next slide. In 2004, the city built a plaza and subterranean garage located at 12509 28th Avenue Northeast, pursuant to Ordinance 121471, which established the Lake City Civic Core Center and came under the jurisdiction of FAS. Since 2004, FAS has managed the joint use of the garage and adjacent stairs and elevators serving the garage in partnership with the Seattle Public Library and assumed costs of maintenance and upkeep for those structures, while SPR has managed the plaza. As you may be aware, there's a customer service center inside the library building, which is operated by FAS. The garage was used regularly by city staff and patrons until it was closed to security concerns in 2023. After Mercy Housing Northwest was awarded the RFP for developing the property, SPR reached out to FAS in 2025 with a request to transfer jurisdiction of the property to provide parking for the community center, patrons, new housing units, and continued parking needs for the library and customer service center. In response to community concerns about parking, this transfer of jurisdiction of the existing garage from FAS to SPR will facilitate parking for the community center and overflow for the residential units, and will also allow for SPR to collaborate with the FAS Customer Service Center and Seattle Public Library to accommodate their future parking needs. Note that while SPR and FAS have agreed to transfer jurisdiction of the property to SPR for the project, various details will be worked out in subsequent interdepartmental agreements. We therefore believe this property transfer will meet multiple needs. In the short term, the existing property will be used for construction staging and then eventually for parking after construction. Also, taking advantage of the existing ramp and curb cut alleviates the need for the construction of a second access ramp to serve the new garage under the SPR Community Center and OH-funded affordable housing structure. Still on the same slide here. The existing parking garage has 59 spaces. These stalls would be reserved for the community center, library, and neighborhood service center visitors and overflow for housing. It could also be available for use during the farmers market. Mercy is also constructing a new garage as part of the redevelopment. Current design is approximately 75 parking stalls. 4 stalls will be dedicated to van and ADA parking for the community center, located adjacent to the elevator that serves the community center and childcare on the second floor. There's a separate elevator that serves the residential floors of the building. We also want to note the TOJ ordinance authorizes the superintendent to enter into an agreement with a future parking operator for both garages for a contract term not to exceed 5 years without additional council approval. The intent is that the condo association would manage the new parking facility, and this authority offers flexibility to the superintendent to operate and get the site open on time once construction is completed in 28-29 without going back to council. To restate the goals of this legislation and what's next, the Lake City Garage and Plaza, comprised of the ramp, garage, and associated infrastructure, TOJ ordinance before you today takes the first step in making this project a reality. This includes authority to hire a parking operator for 5 years. We will be submitting a second ordinance to request approval of the project through the authorization of the superintendent to negotiate and sign all subsequent agreements required of the project, including a ground lease with Mercy Housing Northwest, a deed restriction lift with King County, the eventual condo documents and conveyance agreement once construction is complete, and other necessary documents to complete the project and open it up for the community. We're now happy to answer your questions with our partners here at the table.
Thank you. And also, before I hand it off to my colleagues to see if they have any questions, I want to give a huge thank you to my Chief of Staff, Kelly Brown, former ED of North Helpline, who worked with Tracy Ratcliffe we've been working together for almost a decade, to put together the chronology, because you guys know I like a good chronology. I just want people to put things into context, how long these things have gone on. That's why we went back to 1954. And also, the other issue is for our colleagues and those that aren't familiar with district or the North End and D5, the history of the Lake City Community Center, and now the addition of not only housing but the child care, ADA, extra parking spaces. And so I just want to thank all you guys. You're probably tired of hearing me talk about it, but I've been very excited about this for a long time. Okay, with that, I'm going to open the floor and see if my colleagues have any questions. You guys are going to probably use the computer hand, but I'd rather you just wave at me. Oh. Okay, how about, do any of my colleagues have any comments that they would like to share about the PowerPoint? Go ahead, Councilmember Strauss.
Thank you, Chair Wara. It's been exciting to get to work on this since I believe in my history of 2013, 2014. I do see Karen Gruen from FAS, the backbone of our city's infrastructure here. I was just wondering if Karen had anything to add, because I know whenever we converse about any topic, you add great insight. So I just wanted to open that up.
No, I'll just say FAS is really pleased to be transferring this property to Parks for this really important development. I know it's been a long time coming, so.
Yeah. And not that anyone here in this iteration of this project said what I'm about to say, but I remember a decade plus ago having the response from the city be Lake City doesn't need a community center because Meadowbrook is so close. And that really stung when I heard that, because Meadowbrook is a very different community, even though it is, as the crow flies, geographically close. It is across a marsh and a large hill and just a very different community. And so I just highlight that Lake City needs this community center. They need this housing. They need this central civic hub. And thank you, Councilmember Juarez, for being an ardent advocate for it. That's all I got.
Thank you, Councilmember Strauss. Councilmember Lynn.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to say thank you to you for your leadership in being such a strong advocate for this. I just want to say thanks to all the different partners here today, including our Mercy Housing. This is hard work. Obviously, it's taken a long time, and it's complex, and you know, we're pushing folks to do stuff that they don't normally do. But I think I'm excited to see this come to fruition. You know, we know that we don't have more land in the city, but we're continuing to grow, and we got to get creative. And I think this is one of those examples that hopefully everybody looks back at and is just super excited about. And but overall, just really want to say thank you for your leadership in pushing for this, and for everyone that's spent many hours and years on this. Thank you.
Councilmember Lynn, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, of course.
Do you want to share with folks what you worked on when you were at the city attorney's? Yeah.
I mean, just a lot of the complicated sort of land issues related to this. As you noted here, there's a long history. We had to work with some of the prior owners there, and yeah, just working very closely with parks. We have one other example of a basketball court in the CID with housing on top, but that's much smaller. It is not the level of this. And so, you know, again, asking some of our departments to kind of go outside of their comfort zone. So I really appreciate Parks being such good partners here. And again, you know, and it's not just Parks and Housing. We also have a community workforce agreement on this one, another sort of new, you know, again, trying new things here on this one, and the Mount Baker site as well. So we are exploring kind of all our different options here, and trying out new things, and we're learning as we go, and we'll, you know, I think it's important for us to try new things. So.
Thank you. I think the public should know that Councilmember Lynn was in the city attorney's office, and he understands and worked with us on all the transactional documents. I think that's listed on page 11 of the PowerPoint, and I don't think the public realizes, and so you're being a bit shy about how hard you've worked on all these documents, and also the idea as with the former two chairs of Seattle Park and Rec, Jesus Agarre and AJ, is that the city had never built housing on top of a community center. And that took a lot of convincing and people like Councilmember Lynn, when he was in the city attorney's office, to say, yeah, we can do this. And so that's why I'm kind of tooting your horn for you, because you're a little bit too shy to do it, but you did a really great job. So thank you, and I'm really glad you're here today for this.
Thank you.
All right, Councilmember Kettle.
Thank you, Chair Juarez. Now I'm thinking I need to check in with Councilmember Lynn for like the Queen Anne Community Center.
You do.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
See, he worked on that too.
I told him before the meeting started, you're honorary. Now you're not going to be an honorary member. You're going to have to be a full-time member of this committee. Chair, I recognize the great work that's been done on this, and I can see why it's on your bucket list, if you will, because it's important. I just want to say thank you to Parks and OH and FAS, and of course our own central staff for being here. I think this project is a great illustration of what can be done and different things, and also highlights, bringing things together. I'll have to say I'm quite jealous as being the District 7 district rep. Because, for example, my colleague, Councilmember Strauss, has a service center. He has his office. Office hours are easy. Now the D5 rep is going to have a great place to, hold office hours and the like. And, and I try to do the same. I have a meeting tonight, and I try to do it like the Queen Anne Library, but, they close too early. So I'm going to be going to a church, which I really respect and I'm thankful for. But when I look at this and see what's available in these different districts, one should not forget the closed-in district, because I've asked about this before, by the way, and they said, well, you can have an office in the municipal tower. I go, well, that doesn't help me. So I'm learning. I'm learning from this chair, and then from my colleagues in the other districts, and I'm seeing the example set for everybody at the table. So when as we move forward on the Queen Anne Community Center, I'll be following, and now I'll also be checking in with Councilmember Lynn. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Councilor Kettle's going to remember this, so just know that he's going to roll the tape and remember what happened. But you can't have anything until we break ground and open ours. So let me just put that. I will be gone in November, but I'm just saying. Did someone else have their hand up? Councilmember Rivera, I'm sorry.
No worries, Chair. Thank you, and thank you all for being here. And I'm so excited for this. And there's so many families and kids in this area that are really going to benefit from this. And so I really appreciate the partnership between all the departments to make this a reality. And also, of course, our city's only growing, so we need more community centers. And so I am so happy that this project is moving forward to put a community center in a place where there isn't one today, but it very much needed. And of course, I don't know, Councilmember Lynn, why it should be an issue to have a community center with housing above to serve, the community center will serve those families and residents, and then everyone in the neighborhood and area. And I will say, I know in the D4 at Magnuson Park, we have a community center and Mercy Housing and Solid Ground around the community center. The community center was there first. The housing's not on top, but nevertheless, there are families now and kids and residents writ large that get to enjoy the services at the community center. It's a pairing, and of course, the community center serves the entire neighborhood, not just the folks that live there at the park. So to me, it's a no-brainer, and I'm so happy that this is moving forward, and I'm very grateful for all the city departments because they see benefit in these projects. They work so hard together to make these things a reality. They take time because real estate projects take a long time. That's just the bottom line. Whether it's public or private, it doesn't matter. It always takes a long time. But I'm so looking forward to this moving forward and voting on this today.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Well, I won't be around for the breaking ground, but I'm going to be the one that's going to be kind of a nerd and go back to, can we go to just slide 6 real quick? Because this is something that I just don't, I know Tracy's tired of me doing this and making her and my staff. I just want to, is this realistic now on this whole, the design permitting, the legal, just the timeline that we have here, that we hope to break ground in December 2026? Is that?
Yeah, I'll just say the development team is working really hard to meet this timeline.
Okay, well, I know, but we've been saying working really hard since the last time I was here, and now I'm back. So unfortunately, I'm back, but I will be gone in November. So I want a commitment that this is indeed realistic, because the community will come to us to say what's going on, and then I have to call you guys, and then it turns into a thing. So we can legitimately say and honestly state and put in our newsletter that December 2026, Q4, we would break ground. And I know things will happen in between if indeed we have a grand opening in 2029, but at least we can be consistent on breaking ground.
Yeah, this is a very complicated project with a lot of moving parts, but everything is moving forward very quickly.
And there's 2 other things I want to focus on. On the financing piece, now the project budget is estimated at $124 million. And I remember when we first start raising, Tracy, remember, she's nodding her head. When we first start asking for money, $5 million, then $10 million, then 15, and then getting more in the budget, looking at REIT, looking at how we would issue tax exempt bonds up to $38 million. And then we have the 86 from Office of Housing. The other question I had is, who are or what are, and this is more for the viewing public as well, the other public funders?
Yeah, so this project will have housing tax credits as well as state housing trust funds. The state's committed $6.8 million to the project. The city of Seattle has $33 million in the deal, and there's also a private lender, and the developer as well is contributing to the project budget.
How much was the state, did we get from the state? Was it 10?
6.8.
Okay, that's what I thought. I didn't think it was 10. I heard another colleague of mine say 10 million. I was thinking, I don't think that's correct. Okay. So on the other public funders, is it the low income housing tax credit? So it is them.
Yes.
So that's going to be through the state folk. And what is our AMI on the housing?
Yeah, I do have a
Is it
breakdown of
60%, if I remember correctly?
it does go up to 60, but it's a mix of 30, 50, and 60. And there's a mix of 1 to 4 bedrooms.
So I just want to, so this is, and a lot of this I'm doing because I want the people in the community who are watching, and also my colleagues who are going to be wanting to do one thing, do this as well. We fought really hard to have affordable homes at a low AMI, or higher AMI, well, to capture that group, to offer 2, 3, and 4 bedrooms to serve families, because what we were seeing in the new housing stock, including low income and mixed, was 1-bedroom condos, basically built for people that are making a lot of money and just don't want to own a car and can get on light rail. So I want to thank you guys for working really hard in Mercy Housing on us to make a commitment, because that was another new thing. People were not willing to go beyond a 2-bedroom. And we were like, no, you're going to need 2, 3, and 4 bedrooms. We're having the same conversations with the Northgate Commons folks. 2 and 3 and 4 bedrooms for families, not all townhouses, and not everyone can have their, and I know this sounds like a small thing, but it's a big thing if you grew up in public housing, to have your own place to do laundry. That, you know, you can have those communal spaces, but you should have the privacy to actually live in a 2 or 3 bedroom on these transit spines like light rail with your family and do all the things that you need to do without having to have a communal space to like do your laundry. So thank you guys. I know it doesn't sound like a lot to the public watching, but it really, as you say, it's very complicated when you start bringing in financing and money from the state and what their requirements are, low income tax credits and how you get that in there, how you get in the mixed income. So I won't bore you with all the stuff. So thank you. And I do see it now. The AMI is between 30, 50, and 60. That's what I have on my notes here.
Yep. Correct.
Okay, good. And I also want to thank Family Housing, our Mercy Housing and Family Works. You guys have been great partners. Just reaching out to us, and your advocates reaching out to us in the last 8 years, making sure that we could make this, and every housing is going to reflect that neighborhood. So it isn't just going to be up in District 5, and the community center isn't for just people on the north end. I remember the excitement when, you probably remember some of this, Tracy, when Meadowbrook was built. The Meadowbrook Community Center.
That was a little before my time.
Oh, was it?
actually.
Okay. Wow, you're just going to put me out there. Okay. So maybe I remember, but one thing that we've been trying to do, and I know that my colleagues are trying to do the same thing, and this became a thing back in 15 and 16, is this whole transit-oriented housing, transit-oriented, everything, transit-oriented childcare, transit-oriented development. And that's what we've been trying to do in the Lake City and the Northgate neighborhoods, with specifically with the addition of 2 light rail stations. And we've been really successful in doing that, and also working with REWA in the 3 pre-Ks that we've been putting there with the Tony Lee House and other folks, and also the Kraken Community Iceplex, and working with the Simon folks and those developers that are understanding the sensibilities of that district and their needs. And I could stay here all day about all the folks behind the scenes that make those phone calls, that do those things. And I'm hoping that they're watching. I want them to know that I want to thank them for their hard work, because this is going to house so many families and take care of so many kids. And I'm so excited about the child care piece. That was another piece that we had to really work hard on, to make sure that pre-K, REWA, childhood, all those things were there for families, so their kids, like the Tony Lee House, can go to school. Parents can hop on light rail. There's buses there. There's library there. There's a pool there at Meadowbrook. So with that being said, without going on and on about D5, thank you very, very much. I don't think let me see if I think I'm pretty good on, I had one quick question. On the On the, I'm guessing that on the transactional documents on page 11, the term sheet and all those things, and the ground lease and all that, you have on there ground lease term sheet complete. So the term sheet is complete. On page 11?
They're ready to execute, yeah,
Okay.
with the next legislative package.
Okay, so all of those transactional documents, we hope to be in committee on 9/16, September 16th?
The higher level, you won't have all of the copies
No,
of everything.
right,
yet,
but we'll have the ones, so I'm giving you a heads up now that our last committee meeting that we're doing especially for you guys, for Parks, to get this stuff done before I get out the door is September 16th, Wednesday, September 16th. So we're hoping we can get those foundational documents done before we head out, well, before I head out. And I hope you invite me to the groundbreaking. So will I be there?
Absolutely.
Okay, great. All right. Is there any other questions or comments before we close out, colleagues? We're good? Okay, I don't see anybody online either. All right, okay. I'm going to move then that the committee recommends passage of Council Bill 121250. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded to recommend passage of the bill. Are there any further comments? Not seeing or hearing any. Will the clerk please call the roll on the bill?
Councilmember Strauss.
Aye.
Councilmember Saka.
Aye.
Councilmember Rivera.
Aye.
Vice Chair Kettle.
Aye.
Chair Juarez.
Oh, aye.
There are 5 votes in favor and 0 opposed.
Thank you. So the motion carries. Council Bill 121250 will be sent to the July, why does it have July 21st? Oh, July 20, our full council meeting. Yes. Full council meeting on July 21st. Got it. Okay, I'm sorry, I was looking at my notes wrong. All right. That being said, it passed. Thank you. Were you clapping? Thank you. That was very nice of you. Thank you. We're happy. This has been a long time coming. Thank you, guys. Whew, okay. Clerk, please read item 2 into the record.
Agenda item 2, CB 121231, relating to the City Light Department and ordinance establishing new retail rate schedules, establishing a new customer class and conditions of service for data centers whose electricity demand constitutes a new large load, modifying customer changes for service connections, modifying customer eligibility for residential rate assistance, and augmenting the rate stabilization account mechanism. There will be briefing, discussion, and vote.
Thank you, Parks. Thank you, guys. I'll see you all again. All right. So with that, I'll let you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves, and then we'll go through the presentation.
Rob Santoff, Intern General Manager and CEO at Seattle City Light.
Kirsty Granger, City Light's Chief Financial Officer.
Hi, I'm Eric McConaughey on the Council Central Staff.
Great. So what I will do now is, so do I do this now? Do I move it now? And then get a second, and then, okay, I'm just looking at, I had this in reverse. So I move to recommend passage of Council Bill 121231. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded to recommend the passage of Council Bill 121231. This is our third time having the new City Light retail rates in committee. At our first meeting, we had a high-level overview of presentation from Seattle City Light representatives about the 2027-2032 strategic plan and the new rates ordinance. Following the meeting, our office collected questions from council offices and we submitted them to Seattle City Light. We received a response on June 30th, followed by an in-depth presentation on July 1st. As you all remember that fun day with the PowerPoint. Based on those questions, and we passed the strategic plan resolution. Today, we will hear an update. We'll hear an amendment to the Utility Discount Program, UDP, section of the ordinance. This amendment comes from legislation that passed out of full council yesterday and is sponsored by Councilmember Strauss. Eric McConaughey from Central Staff will present on the amendment. Following the amendment, we will take a final questions on the ordinance for Seattle, for City Light from, sorry, let me get this right. Following the amendment, we will take final questions on the ordinance for City Light representatives. Okay. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and move the amendment. Clerk? Yeah, I'll move it, and then I'll give it to you. Okay. Councilor Strauss, would you like to move your amendment?
Yes, I move Amendment 1 to Council Bill 121231.
Second. Okay, it's been moved and seconded to amend the resolution as presented as Amendment 1. We have our presenters here. So starting right now, we'll let you go ahead with the presentation, and then we'll let Councilmember Strauss speak to his amendment.
So I'll be happy to discuss the amendment. We're just, I think maybe I'll trade seats so I can drive that deck. Should we do that? That'd be great. Okay.
We're agile.
We can do this. All right, that should put it up. There it is. Fantastic.
Great.
So this is Amendment 1, Version 1, the only amendment to the bill. The sponsor of this amendment is Councilmember Strauss. And just a little bit of background. So this removes modifications to the municipal code that deals with the utility discount program. Those were handled separately in Council Bill 121222. That has now passed. So because of the timing of the legislation and when they came to committee, the rate ordinance did come with these changes aboard, but they're no longer necessary because they've been handled with separate legislation. So what this would do is remove these redundant modifications. And as a reminder, this part of the Seattle Municipal Code deals with residential electric rate assistance for City Light customers. City Light and SPU, the Seattle Public Utility, these assistance programs together are called Utility Discount Program. And so the bill that passed in council this week, 121222, does modify the UDP. It moves it, the threshold from 70% of the state median income to 60% of the area median income. It also states council's intent to consider legislation next year to extend the benefits to 70% of area median income in 2028, and similarly 80% in 2029. Requests annual reports, and just the last point here is just pointing out that on July 9, the Governance Utilities Committee amended that bill, and then just on the 14th, the council voted and passed it. These are the actual specific things that it does to the bill in terms of striking the reference for the title, removing the section that deals with the utility discount program, and then changing some effective date language in section 16. Those are the technical details to this. This is a technical amendment to clean up the legislation so that it's consistent with all the legislation that's already been passed. With that, I'll answer any questions or just hand it over. Yeah.
Before we hand it off to Councilmember Strauss, quickly, just because I can't remember, Seattle Municipal Code 21, is that the whole utility code?
21 has, yeah, it has all the utilities in there, City Light, SPU, yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. All right, great, thank you. All right, with that, Councilmember Strauss, the floor is yours. Would you like to speak to your amendment?
Thank you, Chair Juarez. And I was just reflecting, Kirsty and I have been working, and many others at City Light have been working together since before the pandemic. We went through a pandemic, and now we're on the other side. And I just really appreciate Rob Santoff getting to work with you over the course of the last few years. The two of you have brought strength, have continued strength through turbulent times. And this amendment is an example of that. And I say that because through our partnership, you were working hard to ensure that the utility discount program was in fact part of this rates ordinance, no matter what we were able or unable to do here at council. Luckily for everyone, we were successful in our joint venture, and that makes part of this redundant. So the amendment today just simply removes the redundant actions and this action demonstrates a truly one city, one Seattle thinking mentality where we are all working together. We're all rowing in the same direction. And I just really appreciate it. So with that, I urge everyone to remove the redundant information. Thank you for all your work at City Light.
Thank you.
Do I have any questions from my colleagues before I make a few comments? Nope. Okay, we're good. Not seeing anybody, right? Okay. Thank you, Vice Chair. The only comment I want to make is I want to thank you, Councilmember Strauss. You're being very modest. I was going to say something, but I probably would get in trouble if I said it, but this is a big deal, the UDP. I don't think people realize the utility discount program and the expansion that you've done and how many, if you wouldn't mind, would you say how many more families will be served because you did this?
Simply changing from 60% state median income to 60% area median income, we have increased 31,000 families. And as we progress, whether it's a prorated discount or a full discount up to 80% area median income, that will be a total of 81,000 families. For your reference, my district has the highest voter registration and voter turnout in the state, and we have about 76,000 registered voters.
So the reason why I wanted to put that into context is people sometimes aren't always happy with us, and we do try to do the work and make a difference. And this is such a good example of a good legislator seeing a problem, working with the city departments, and it gets a little, with the law, a little idiosyncratic, and trying to just figure out how we change it, expanding it. And I don't think people understand, I hope they do, I don't mean it in a negative way, that we also use the UDP eligibility threshold information for other programs as well. And that is, all that data is so important to get to people in our city who can't afford, and you have to make a decision between paying for their water bill, garbage, lights, heat, and just the expansion of that is phenomenal. And like you say, if that takes us up to, 81,000 families, that's a big deal. Mm-hmm. So thank you very much, Councilmember Strauss.
I think you started the work. I just picked up the baton.
I'm always a little nervous when you're nice to me. I don't know why you're being nice, but okay. We're good friends. I'm just kidding. All right. Okay, so with that, and I do not, anything? No, you're still mad.
Chair, you said you were just kidding about being good friends with our colleague.
Yeah, that's true. I'm just kidding. All right. We're just having way too much fun in this committee. I know we're not supposed to. All right. So with that and the questions and the comments that we've all made, there's no further. The clerk, please call the roll on adoption of amendment number 1.
Councilmember Strauss?
Aye.
Councilmember Saka?
Aye.
Councilmember Rivera?
Aye.
Vice Chair Kettle?
Aye.
Chair Juarez?
Aye.
Chair, there are 5 votes in favor and 0 opposed.
Thank you. The motion carries. Amendment 1A is adopted. Is there any other questions on the bill as amended before we go forward with the full vote on the actual underlying legislation? Okay, I'm not seeing any. So with that, clerk, please call the roll. Oh, did I move it? Oh, who did? Oh, you did, Rob? Did you have
comments?
Do you have comments?
Oh, no, I'm good.
Apparently, my clerk has taken over, so that being said, thank you, Councilmember Paul. I'm sorry, Mr. Director, is there something you want to share?
No, I'm all set. Thanks.
I got messaged.
Okay, well, thank you. It's good to have good help, right? I know, I'm just teasing. Paul's my friend, too, just so everyone knows. I'm friends with everybody. All right, so where was I? We are going to call the roll on the legislation as amended.
Yep.
Councilmember Strauss?
Aye.
Councilmember Saka?
Aye.
Councilmember Rivera?
Aye.
Vice Chair Kettle?
Aye.
Chair Juarez?
Aye.
Chair, there are 5 votes in favor and 0 opposed.
Thank you. The motion carries. Council Bill 121231 will be sent to the July 21st full City Council meeting, and it is passed. Great. Will clerk please read item 3 into the record?
Agenda item 3, informational item 2921, Seattle City Light 2025 Independent Audit Report by Baker Tilly. There will be a briefing and discussion.
All right. Thank you. I believe that we have, thank you, Seattle City Light folks. I believe that we have, Aaron is going to join us. There's Aaron, I see his title. Okay, Aaron Wortham from Baker Tilly will be presenting this audit report. It is virtual, and I understand that there is a 16-page PowerPoint. So once you're ready, please introduce yourself and you can begin your presentation.
Sounds great. Good afternoon, everyone. Again, my name is Aaron Worthman.
I'm the lead audit principal, and I'm pleased to present the fiscal year 2025 financial audit. What I'd like to do first is just go through an audit overview. What is it exactly that we do as part of the audit process? I want to touch on briefly some of the main audit areas, or audit focus, if you will. Talk a little bit about internal control communication, and then end with our required communication with you charged as governance. And then at the very end, open up to any questions anyone may have. So if we look at the audit as a whole, our firm spends about 1,000 hours auditing Seattle City Light and taking a look at their annual financial statements. If I look at this year's audit, I'd say it went very well. This year we had no major accounting pronouncement changes, so it was a very straightforward year. Again, management and staff were prepared and cooperative and readily available. We maintained our audit schedule. We conduct roughly what we call 4 weeks of final and preliminary fieldwork. We spend 1 week in the fall conducting work, and then 3 weeks we come on site and do our final fieldwork, with our last date of fieldwork being April 3rd, 2026. And one thing of note, as part of the audit process, we often have what we call our adjusting journal entries or correcting entries that we discover. This year, we did not have any adjusting journal entries, so that's a great job by management. So our audit was performed in accordance with generally accepted auditing standards. Those are the standards that we're required to follow as your audit firm. In addition to that, we also follow additional standards, government auditing standards, that are standards specific to our continuing professional education, supervision of our audit team, quality control, due care, and independence of our audit team. Our audit objective is to ensure that there's reasonable assurance that your financial statements are free from material misstatement. And at the end of this year's audit, your financial statements have received an unmodified opinion, which is also known as a clean opinion, which is the highest level of assurance that we can provide as your audit firm. What I've done here is I've outlined some of the major areas of focus for our audit. I think if you were to look at your financial statements, none of these should really come as any surprise. We spend a considerable amount of time looking at the internal controls for your processes, your activities, your environment at Seattle City Light, most of which center in the information technology area. We spend a lot of time looking at your capital assets, your revenues, your accounts receivable, your utility billings, environmental liabilities, expenditures, payables, payroll, and then lastly, to wrap up the audit, we spend a lot of time taking a look at your financial report. So I'd mentioned we take a look at internal controls. One thing I did want to point out, we do not provide an opinion on internal controls. However, if we identify any major instances of a lack of internal controls or a breakdown in internal controls, we're required to communicate those to you as your governance. And we did not identify any material weaknesses in your internal control structure or significant deficiencies. Just again, want to touch on our required communication with you charged with governance. I won't go through all these, but I did want to touch on a couple highlights. When you look at your financial statements to note 1, you'll see all your accounting policies that City Light uses. If you haven't, I'd urge you to take a look at those. What we do as auditors is we look at those policies. We make sure that they comply with generally accepted accounting principles, and not only that they comply with those principles, but that you're following those. I often get questions from governing bodies when you take a look at your financial statements, what are the limitations of those statements, or what should you pay particular attention to? And I will say that almost always has to do with a significant estimate, so much so in fact that we're required to point out the significant estimates within your financials. So when you take a look at City Light's financial statements, you'll note that there are significant estimates for unbilled revenues, allowance for doubtful accounts, your pension liability, your environmental remediation liabilities, your self-insurance claim liability, and other post-employment benefits. If we had any significant difficulties encountered performed during your audit, we would disclose those, and pleased to report we did not. I mentioned earlier we did not have any major adjusting journal entries. I will say as part of many audits, For oftentimes we will have what we call immaterial misstatements. Normally those are just corrections that are noted by management after they close their books, but because they are insignificant in nature, those don't get posted. Well, we as auditors just need to accumulate those to make sure none of those are material, and we've done that. If we had any disagreements with management or other findings or issues, we'd be required to report those to you, and we did not have any disagreements or any significant findings or issues. Just know if at any time we did have a significant issue, this wouldn't be the first time you'd be hearing about it. I would reach out to you to have those discussions on a timely basis when we discovered those issues. Again, we did not have any adjusting journal entries as part of this year's audit. In your communication packet, you will see that the last part we have is what we call our management representation letter. Within that letter, it lists out the representations that your management team makes as part of the audit. There's representations relative to internal control, accounting policies, fraud risks, things to that extent. So if you haven't, I'd urge you to take a look at that representation letter to see the types of things that your management team is representing as part of the audit process. If your management team consulted with any other accounting firms during the year, we'd be required to be notified of that communication, and none of that came to our attention. And then the last item, auditor independence. One of the things that we need to do as your audit firm is we need to remain independent in fact and appearance. And I'm here to state that our firm and every individual on your audit engagement is independent with Seattle City Light. So with that, we definitely want to thank your accounting team and all the work that they do. Earlier I'd mentioned we spend 1,000 hours as part of the audit process. I'd say your management team and accounting team, although they may not spend 1,000 hours, it's a significant effort. So I wouldn't be surprised with financial reporting and all those that, they come close to that effort. So again, given the financial or the results that we had here and no findings, that just shows that they did a great job during the year, and we appreciate all their effort. So with that, I'll open up to any questions anyone might have.
Thank you, Mr. Worthman. Do my colleagues have any questions before we see if we have anything else from you folks? Is there anything you guys want to add? You good? Oh, you do? You good?
No.
You good? Okay.
No one.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay, Councilmember Kettle, and then I have a few questions. Go ahead, Councilmember Kettle.
Just a statement, and it's another example, colleagues. This audit report is for 2025, during the period in which the CEO General Manager was Don Lindell. And this is just another example that the decision by the mayor to let Don Lindell go was not founded on anything concrete. And I just wanted to take this opportunity to restate that because it was an unfortunate error to let Ms. Lindell leave Seattle City Light. And this is done after a lot of work on my part, engaging with many people on the topic. And it's important, as we noted in the previous, with the fiscal challenges, the affordability challenges that we have. And it's not just with utility rates, it's also with property and sales taxes, as I've been saying recently. But I think it's worth noting that this audit report and how it's presented highlights the leadership of Ms. Lindell. Now, having said that, I am fully supportive of Mr. Santoff and his role and his team and the work that they're doing. I just want to say thank you to him for continuing on the great work, and the team continuing on the great work here in 2026. So thank you, Chair.
Thank you. And I agree with you, Councilmember Kettle. And I think it was really good that you pointed out it was for 2025. Yeah. So, Mr. Worthman, are you still there?
Yes. Yep.
So I'll tell you, when I went through this audit, the things that I just zeroed in on, which I was very happy. I was happy to read free from material misstatement, free from material weaknesses, no significant deficiencies, no disagreements, a clean opinion, and no audit adjustments. Those are the only things I was focused in on. So thank you for that, and good job, Seattle City Light. Well done. We don't always get the cleanest audit. Well, let me restate that. It's nice to have a nice, clean audit. Is that a good way to say it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Is there something you want to say? Yeah, go ahead, Councilmember Rivera.
I agree with Councilmember Kettle and with you, Chair. I really appreciate, audits give us the ability to give confidence to the public that we're doing good work. And, oftentimes it's kind of seen as a negative, but they're actually positive things in my mind because, like I said, it's really good to be able to show our work to the public and see that the department is doing great work. And I agree with Councilmember Kettle about Dawn Lindell's leadership. This audit goes to the work she was doing in 2025. Also to all of the staff at Seattle City Light. So very much appreciate the staff. Appreciate Rob stepping up in this interim role to the plate. I know you worked very closely with Dawn, so we have some continuity with you, which I very much personally appreciate. And so this is a clean, almost like clean bill of health. So I really appreciate City Light and the public writ large can feel confident that the department is doing really great work. And I know that there were some unfortunate things at the department, but Dawn handled those very well. Rob, you and I have talked about that as well, and the department is in good stead. So thank you. Appreciate you and the team at City Light. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councilmember Rivera. I just want to end on the note that for the public too, that Seattle City Light is our #1 economic engine. So that is really important. They generate the most revenue that the city owns for all kinds of things. And it's nice to know that our #1 economic engine is doing great. And also, they are the second largest employer of the city. So thank you, Rob. All right. Okay, I think is there anything else? So you guys are good? Okay, good. So with that, hold up, Paul. So with that, let me catch up with Councilmember Paul. All right. So thank you for that presentation. We'll move on. Will you please read item number 4 into the record?
Agenda item 4, Council Bill 121249, an ordinance relating to the City Light Department authorizing 10-year agreements with customers eligible for transportation electrification programs. There will be a briefing, discussion, and vote.
Thank you. So we have some new folks here besides you, Interim Director. I'll let you guys introduce yourselves and say, this is very exciting. Believe it. And I mean it. I'm not being sarcastic. It's very exciting.
Rob Santoff, Intern General Manager and CEO at Seattle City Light.
Good afternoon. My name is Angela Song. I'm the Transportation Electrification Portfolio Manager at City Light.
Afternoon, David Logston, Interim Chief Customer Officer and Director of Electrification for Seattle City Light.
Great. I'm going to let you go ahead with your presentation.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Chair Juarez and committee members, for the opportunity to present today on City Light's Transportation Electrification Agreement Ordinance. This proposed ordinance authorized City Light to enter into long-term transportation electrification agreements with eligible customers, supporting electrical upgrades and expanded EV charging. These agreements allow the assignment of Washington Clean Fuel Standard credits to the utility, which generates revenue to support investments in charging infrastructure and grid improvements. These agreements improve City Light's ability to plan and invest in transportation electrification related infrastructure that advances the city's climate and mobile goals while promoting equitable access to maintaining strong financial stewardship. This action aligns with the 2025 to 2030 Council adopted City Light Transportation Electrification Strategic Investment Plan, or TSIP, and it reflects the ongoing engagement with customer partners and community stakeholders. With that, I'll turn it over to Angela to walk through the presentation that includes background on TSIP, the Washington Clean Fuel Standards, and details on the proposed ordinance.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rob. Good afternoon, Chair and Council members. I'm Angela Song. I lead a lot of the electrification transportation work at City Light. Thank you for the opportunity to walk through this ordinance. I'll share a little bit more about how this fits into our broader strategy, why it's needed, and how it positions City Light to meet the rapidly growing electrification needs. There we go. So thanks, Rob, for the reminder. Thank you, Council, for passing the Transportation Electrification Strategic Investment Plan, TSIP for short. This has been a really great document for us. It's our long-term strategy and roadmap for transportation electrification investments and grid modernization. It guides where and how we prioritize infrastructure, ensures alignment with our climate and mobility goals, and helps us plan capital investments with that long view in mind. The ordinance we're discussing today is just one of the tools that will enable us to meet the scale of work outlined in this strategy. So another influential policy is the Washington State's Clean Fuel Standard. It's a key funding mechanism in this space. The program aims to reduce transportation emissions by generating credits for clean fuels, so that includes electricity, and those credits can then be reinvested directly into transportation electrification programs. This is one of the few non-ratepayer funding streams available at scale, and it's essential for keeping electrification affordable for our customers. So TSIP sets our strategy, and the Clean Fuel Standard provides the revenue that helps us execute it. More electric vehicles and chargers lead to more Clean Fuel Standard credits, which City Light can reinvest into incentives, infrastructure upgrades, and equity-focused programs. So together, they create a virtuous circle that supports cost-effective, equitable deployment of charging infrastructure across the city and across our service territory. So demand for electrification is accelerating quickly. Seattle now has the highest number of EVs in the state, and here on the slide you can see the trajectory of EV registration in our service area over the past decade.
Hey, Angela, can I stop you for 1 second? How do you know that Seattle has the highest number of electrical vehicles in the state? Because when I read that, I was surprised.
Yeah. We work with an industry partner, EPRI, the Electrification Power Resource Institute, and they provide us registration data through Experian.
Okay, so I have to go on some show and explain some of this, so don't make me a liar when I use this bullet point. I want to just make sure that Angela said this is a thing. Okay, good.
Yep, we have the data to back it up.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So the chart shows a steady rise in the trend from 2015 through April 2026. But what's most striking is how sharply the curve bends in the last 5 years.
Yeah,
between
wow, it really went up.
What was that?
It really went up.
Yes. Yeah, pretty significant. So between 2015 and 2025, we saw a compound annual growth rate of about 37%. This rising adoption directly connects to infrastructure needs, and based on our current registration and projected uptake, our customers will require approximately 11,000 public chargers by 2030. So today we have roughly 2,000, meaning we need to achieve more than 5-fold increase in the available charging infrastructure in our territory.
Can I ask you a quick question? When you say public chargers, are you talking about if people are building like housing units, or are you talking about those things that we see like at malls or Walgreens where people plug in?
It's more focused on what you're seeing at malls, so it also includes workplace charging in particular, and then publicly accessible charging infrastructure that you'll see at malls or grocery stores.
So we have 11, you said we're going to get to 11,000?
Based on the projection, we need about 11,000 by 2030.
We need 11,000. Oh, okay.
Correct. And we currently have
by
about
2035.
2,000.
Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, I'm going to be using that little factoid as well, so thank you.
That's a good one.
I see it now on the page. Okay, I get it. I'm sorry, I was listening and not looking at your PowerPoint. Got it.
No worries. So it's a tall order. We meet this demand, though, through several customer incentive programs. So we support fleet electrification. So those are for businesses that are looking to electrify their vehicles in operation. We focus on multifamily buildings, which are the hardest places to electrify workplaces and publicly accessible charging infrastructure. This also complements City Light's own public chargers. In 2025, our chargers replaced roughly 6 million gasoline equivalent miles. So these investments are tangible, measurable, and foundational to achieve our climate and air quality goals. And in 2026, we're already surpassing our 25 usage due to our efforts to mitigate vandalism and cable theft in our region. So we've demonstrated strong results and partnerships. City Light works really closely with King County Metro and the Washington State Ferries on high-impact fleet electrification. We own and operate about 83 chargers across every single district, and we've supported the installation of more than 1,000 customer-owned chargers to date. These achievements contributed to Seattle's All-American Cities Award in 2025 and shows that we have the experience to expand this work responsibly and at scale. And I'm also excited to announce that City Light sold our first clean fuel standard credits in June, so just last month. The revenue will be used to reinvest into our customer incentive programs to support their efforts to deploy more chargers. And we'll continue to sell credits throughout 2026 to continue the implementation of our strategy and build on the successes you've heard today.
Who did we sell to in June?
Say that again, sorry.
Who did we sell to in June?
We sold to a broker by the name of Mercuria. I don't know if that's the exact pronunciation, but you sell these credits through a broker. They connect us to a counterparty. The counterparties are usually fuel providers that generate fuels that are have a higher carbon emission, so really focusing on like gas, diesel suppliers in our region.
Thank you. And the reason why I'm saying this is because Councilmember Paul and I were trying to go through the chain of how these get sold and how the credits and how the state law got passed, and then the credits we have and how we were generating revenue from these and who were the customers that were getting them. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Happy to do a deep dive. All right, so this brings us to the proposed ordinance. The legislation authorized City Light to enter up to 10-year transportation electrification agreements specifically with our customers participating in our incentive programs. The longer timeline is actually very critical. It supports phased, future-proofed construction, and it gives us clear authority to set operational expectations to collect performance data, so kilowatt hours dispensed. In exchange for these incentives, participants will assign their clean fuel standard credits to City Light for the term of the agreement. Those credits generate a revenue stream that offset those incentives and supports additional electrification projects without relying on ratepayers. The agreement also ensures we enforce program requirements and collect charger utilization and other data necessary to comply with the state clean fuel standard program. So in short, the ordinance allows us to scale charging infrastructure at the pace required, keeps costs down, maintain our compliance with the clean fuel standard, and reinvest those funds back into transportation electrification.
Thank you. Before we open the floor, if you don't mind, is it okay if I call you? I've been calling you Angela. Is that okay? Yep. You know, in the olden days when we had committee meetings, we sat at the table and we just got to talk. So I'm still getting used to this more formal, where we could just ask you questions like normal people. So that's why I've been doing that.
I appreciate it.
I like the old way better, quite frankly. So before we leave page 8, there's a question. I had a couple questions, just real quick. First of all, thank you for the really good summary and fiscal note. You're the one that did this, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Good job.
Thank you.
I like it because then I was explaining. So how did you land on 10-year transportation agreements? Why 10?
Yeah, so 10 years is a few things. One is the life cycle of, typical life cycle of charging infrastructure. And I think that is sort of where we are set. We also are trying to give our customers longer timeframes in order to build their projects. So when we're talking about future projects, we're trying to do all the construction, conduit, and all of the wires at the beginning of the project, so that reduces the cost up front. And so it's allowing the, let's say business to turn over their fleets. So most businesses usually have a timeline of when their vehicles are sold and when they purchase new vehicles, so it allows for that turnover in their assets as well.
Second question I had, you had agreements with Metro and the ferries. When did you do those? If you can give me a little bit background, or how that's going.
Yeah, those are larger partnerships that are actually outside of the participation agreement, although King County just submitted an application, so that's new. But with Washington State Ferries and King County Metro, those are really important customers who have large-scale projects, and so we have partnerships with them specifically to help with their electrification. And I believe
I'll jump in quickly because we actually have memorandums of understanding with both of those entities, and you all actually approved the updated Washington State Ferries MOU I think 2 months ago, maybe. It was pretty recent. So we
in
have
this
specific
committee?
MOUs with him.
We did?
Yes.
Yes.
How come I don't remember that? Go ahead.
Yeah, it was the marine cable.
Oh, the ring cable,
Washington State
okay.
Ferries.
Thank you, Maura. Another council member in the back, okay. But let me ask you this, because, okay, this is why I was getting confused. When you look at page 6 of your PowerPoint and you say who your customers are, customer incentive programs, I'm guessing this is just an example of the customers. So was Metro and Ferries or Washington State Ferries are considered customers as well? Yes?
They are considered customers.
Okay, so it's the fleets, the multifamily, public, workspace, and then transportation folks like the ferries and I know that even the city departments have transferred their fleets over to electricity as well.
Correct.
SPU, Seattle City Light, can't think of anyone else.
FAS, SPU,
FAS.
Parks are all part of, the
Okay.
electrification effort of their fleets.
Well, first of all, thank you again, Angela, and I really did appreciate reading your summary and fiscal note. I think people think we don't read that stuff, but we do. And I appreciate it when someone writes very clearly and can explain stuff to me, because, you get a little tired sometimes of this stuff. I just want, and also a really good job on answering the question about the climate change impacts. I appreciate that. We put that in much later, and now city departments who are doing these summary and fiscal notes are addressing that, so thank you very much. I'm going to open the floor up to my colleagues and see if any of my colleagues have any questions. Councilmember Strauss.
Thank you. This one came to me in office hours last week, which is a unique and novel way of, how did you say, smoothing the bell curve? You guys have it better. Smoothing the
peak load.
Peak load by using out of service electric vehicles to tap back into the grid. Is that something that we're exploring at this time? Sorry. Love this whole presentation. Love all your work. I know we talked offline previously. Here's the new idea. Do we have that capability, that capacity?
Right now, we don't have the capability. Some of that depends on technology.
Sure.
And so that's what we're moving towards, is getting the technology in place so that our control center can view what's on our system and then be able to control it. So that'll be a future state, but it is something that we'll be researching and moving towards eventually.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Rivera.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, ditto to my colleague, Chair Juarez's comments about clarity and all the information that you give, because we do read it. I know I read it too, Councilmember Juarez. I do have a question on page 5 about this 11,000, because I thought I heard you say, Angela, we currently have 2,000. And so what's the plan for reaching the 11,000 by 2030? Because that seems like a long time from now, but it's not, since we're in 2026.
Yeah. It's a mixed strategy. We both need public investment and private investments. And so through the customer incentive programs, that's where we're seeing a lot of movement. So through our investments, we've seen about 11,000 chargers being deployed. So those customer-facing incentive programs are really critical. We need the private market to also help fill in those gaps. We've seen them as first movers. City Light's role here is really to fill in those gaps. Right now, we're working with SDOT, the Seattle Department of Transportation. We are in partnership on the transportation levy, where we're going to be investing over $32 million of charging infrastructure over the next 8 years. So that is a way that we are also going to bridge up to that 11,000 chargers that are needed. To be quite frank, we also need a lot of the commercial businesses to step in and provide that amenity for the customers and our residents. So we do a lot of outreach and engagement with our customers from north to south, just to really try to have them understand, like, what are the benefits of electrification? What could a driver potentially want, either in their workplace or in their home? So we are also out there doing a lot of engagement in order to build that understanding, in order for them to kind of get to the decision to invest in transportation electrification on their property.
Thank you, Angela. It takes a village. We need to work together, but really appreciate your robust engagement to make that happen, because it's not going to happen unless we are actually engaging and reaching out to folks in the private and public sector. So appreciate City Lights and your work on this. I will say just a general comment. I appreciate that Seattle has the highest number of electric vehicles, because I know people in Seattle very much care about the climate, which I do as well. And I will say that we often, and I have said that when cuts happen, we often turn to our climate goals and investments, and we tend to cut those first because we see climate as a tomorrow problem when it's actually a today problem. So you are very robustly tackling the today climate problem with your electrification program, and I really appreciate that. And I know my constituents really appreciate that too. So thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councilmember Rivera. Are there any other comments from my colleagues before we go to a vote? Oh, Councilmember Saka, I knew you were going to, when you heard transportation, I saw your head go up. I was watching you. Go ahead, Councilmember Saka.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Interim General Manager Santoff and your team for this presentation today. Climate, well, this effort and what we're being asked to consider and approve directly impacts our climate, as we've learned and we all know, and so super important, strongly supportive, including that sort of blended strategy of public-private investment to effectively bring our transportation electrification goals and priorities to life. So really supportive of that, more broadly. But I would be remiss if I didn't mention, a little irony with respect to a electric or transportation charging station project in my own district right now. Yesterday or the day before, I received a very troubling and concerning update from Seattle City Light that project, about 10 years in the making, in the Morgan Junction EV charging station is going to be even further delayed. Totally unacceptable. That's a 10-year saga. So yeah, more broadly, I'm supportive of this effort and this piece of legislation before us, but the irony that my office received that word, and here we are talking about transportation electrification. We can't even get our own house in order on that. My constituents in West Seattle and Morgan Junction deserve better from the city. My office has been pushing hard on that. The executive department in 2 administrations now. I don't know what else you all need. I don't know what other supports you need to be successful. Interim General Manager Santoff, you and I have discussed this specific project offline directly. This is nonsense. Snap out of it. I'll be following up offline about that. Which, speaking of the other effort to roll out as part of the transportation levy, more charging stations, public charging stations across the city. Just thinking out loud here, I think that'd actually be a terrific agenda item and topic. Would love to invite you all, City Light, in partnership with SDOT, to come brief later this year about the status of that effort, because we're 2 years in, almost at the end of year 2 of the transportation levy, of an 8-year levy. To come brief on the status of that rollout using the Morgan Junction EV charging station as an example, focusing heavily on that. This is out of hand. I don't know what other supports you all need, but it's not resourcing. Let's get this done. But proud to support this broader initiative. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Councilmember Saka. Is there any other questions before we move on? I just want to thank you guys for Seattle City Light and all my colleagues for taking this stuff seriously. I think sometimes people think that not only maybe we don't read everything, but we're not paying attention, and we are. And as Councilmember Saka pointed out, when we represent, nothing against those that are elected citywide, but when we represent a district, and expectations are raised by other folks, and then we respond to our constituents when those expectations aren't met, That's the frustration that we get. And we've had those issues with outages, Queen Anne, Pinehurst, and then we get the calls, which is, yeah. So, and I understand. I get it. So that's kind of what you're hearing is sometimes that frustration. So, Angela, thank you very much for the work that you did here today. Thank you, Interim Director Sentoff, and thank you, is it Longston?
That's right. Longston.
Thank you. Is there anything else you guys want to add before we go to a vote?
We're good. Thank you.
You're good?
Yep.
Don't look at Paul. It's okay. Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you for the presentation and all the information. All right. I move that the committee recommends passage of Council Bill 121249. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Rivera. It is moved and seconded to recommend passage of the bill. Are any further comments? Not seeing any. All right, clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilmember Strauss.
Aye.
Councilmember Saka.
Aye.
Councilmember Rivera.
Aye.
Vice Chair Kettle.
Aye.
Chair Juarez.
Aye.
Chair, there are 5 votes in favor and 0 opposed.
Thank you. The motion carries. Council Bill 121249 will be sent to the full council on July 21st. That is next Tuesday. All right, folks, we have reached the end of today's meeting agenda. Are there any other comments from our committee members? Okay, I'm not seeing any. If there's no further business to come before the committee, we are adjourned. And my understanding is we will meet again on Wednesday, August 5th. Correct, Councilmember? Councilmember. We will see you on August 5th. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Angela. Thank you, David. Checking out my papers here.